Welcome back to Z's and Threes.
For three for the win. Yes!
And there are just 2 weeks remaining in the NBA regular season, and the West race for seeds 2 through 8 continues to be the thing to watch, especially when there is a full game swing matchup, as there was Sunday night down in H-Town. The NBA's hottest team, the Houston Rockets, trying to make it 10 consecutive victories against the Nikola Jokic-less Denver Nuggets. Best team in the league, the Oklahoma City Thunder, courtesy of their 5-game win streak, and the Cleveland Cavaliers' season worst 4-game slide. Both teams were in action Sunday. The Miami Heat, well, they have lost 10 in a row, yet could still be in the playoffs. How? I will break it down. All that and more to get to. If you like the show, please do like, subscribe, share with a friend. If you're listening on pod, give us 5 stars. Let's get you caught up. Y'all already know, or if you don't and are new to the show, anytime we go to H-Town for the group chat, game of the night, we got to chop and screw the instrumental. I make all the beats for the show as well. If you didn't know, I'll link some of my music down below. Denver Nuggets, Houston Rockets, group chat game of the night. The Rockets looking to make their win streak double digits. Hottest team in the league. That's why this is the group chat game of the night. It would be their 10th 10-game win streak in franchise history if they get a victory. They are currently in the midst of their best season, the Rockets, since 2018-19 when they won 53 games. They lost that year in the conference semifinals to the Lakers. That was still part of the James Harden era Rockets. Team that went 41-41 last season. These new Alperen Şengün, Jalen Green, Ime Udoka, Dillon Brooks, Fred VanVleet, Terror Twins, Rockets, currently sitting second in the Western Conference. In this series between the Nuggets and the Rockets, Houston has won 5 of the last 6. Denver had won the 10 consecutive prior, so things have flipped. Second meeting of the season, Houston won the first by 20. Nikola Jokic, though, did not play in that one, and he would not suit up for this one. 4 straight game missed with an ankle injury for the 3-time MVP. All 4 of these games have been on the road for the Nuggets. They have a 1-2 record. That's consecutive losses after their surprising win against the Warriors on Monday night on national TV. It stopped I believe, 8-game win streak, if I remember correctly, for the Warriors. So could they stop another heater? Rockets looking to make it 10. Teams are tied in the first quarter, tied at the end of the second quarter as well, 57 all at half. Nuggets win the third, 39-22, behind a big effort from Jamal Murray. Looked like the playoff version of his game. 17 points in that period, 7 of 10 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. No free throw attempts. Lead gets to 19 for the Nuggets, but the Rockets launch back with a 21-9 run. They cut the deficit to 3 with 21.2 seconds left. Rockets forced to play the foul game, but the Nuggets make their freebies when it matters. 116-111, Denver wins, snaps the streak. Murray, 39 points, 15-28 from the field, 4 made threes, and a completely ethical 5 of 6 from the stripe. Sidebar. I was watching New Zealand National Basketball League, NZNBL, this weekend. I was waiting for Formula One to start. It was odd hours. The race was in China. So I was watching some other hoops. But I found out in watching such that they actually sponsor the free throw line. There is a title sponsor. So every time that a player goes to the line, they have to announce. The announcers do, the play-by-play says the name of the title sponsor for the free throw line. Thought it was interesting. Never had seen it before. Don't know if it would work in the NBA with the amount of free throws. Denver Nuggets, back to the game. After a disappointing loss Friday night to a currently lottery-bound Trailblazers, Nuggets bounce back, snap the hottest team in the NBA's win streak. They book in their road trip with wins in such nature. Wins against the Warriors and the Rockets, both without Jokic. What to make of these Nuggets? Your guess is as good as mine. They could finish second in the West. They could be in the play-in. Their head coach, Michael Malone, spoke to such after the Blazers lost. Houston, they had a triple-double from Alperen Şengün, 17, 14, and 10. A 30 ball from Jalen Green. 18-22 shooting, though. He's going to be so pivotal to their success or failure in his ability to score efficiently in the playoffs. He had a completely unethical, 11 of 14 from the free throw line. Full game swing in the West race for 2 through 5. I will update all of the teams in standings. These two teams, one more game against one another. And boy, is it scintillating. It is the final day of the regular season, April 13th, down in Houston. Who knows what implications that game may have, but the Rockets' 9-game win streak snapped by the Nuggets. All right, we can get off the lean rest of the slate. 8 games on Sunday, including the group chat game of the night, so 7 more to get to. Oklahoma City Thunder in LA taking on the Clippers. Let's talk the best team in the league. The Cavs' recent slide, more on them in a second, and the Thunder's wins in their last 5. All of the games that they have played since their loss to the Denver Nuggets have been without Jalen Williams, their second All-Star, a.k.a. J-Dub, much to the despair of my fantasy team that somehow, without both Jokic and J-Dub, pulled out the W to advance to the championship. How many of y'all are in your fantasy championships this week? Good luck to you. I know you're not in my league. Well, some of you are. The ones I'm playing for the championship, we're coming. Check ball. Clippers, they had won 5 straight as well. That included their last 2 versus the Grizzlies and the Cavs. So Clippers, hot. Oklahoma City, hot. 5-game win streaks for both. The game goes to clutch time. Clippers had a 12-point lead in the second. Thunder got their lead to 9 in the third. 97 all, 2:19 left. Kawhi Leonard free throw line jumper puts the Clippers in the lead. Alex Caruso has a 3 that he rolls in off the backboard down. It puts the Thunder up. And down the stretch, under 30 seconds, Clippers still trailing. They get 2 great shots to take the lead. Well, 1 great shot. Norman Powell misses from 3. Kawhi has a miss on a tough fall away 3 with the shot clock expiring. LA has to foul. SGA makes both. Clippers have no timeouts. They had challenged earlier, so no advancing the ball. 3.1 seconds left. Down 3. Caruso fouls Kawhi on the floor, so we have to do the make-miss thing. 0.6 seconds left. He makes the first. Does miss the second, but there's no shot attempt. OKC, no J-Dub, no Chet Holmgren. Not yet another victory. 103-101, 6 straight for the Thunder. SGA, 26 points. Tough shooting night, though. 7 of 29 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. A perfect borderline unethical 11, I think, is the line for ethics. Free throws, he makes all 11. 19 from Aaron Wiggins. Thunder defense limits Harden to just 4 of 14 shooting, and Norman Powell to 4 of 12 shooting. Clippers 8 of 26 from 3. Bad loss for LA in the playoff fight. A league-leading 59th win for the Thunder. Now in possession, continuing to possess the best record in the league. Cavs, Utah Jazz. In Salt Lake City, Cleveland trying to get right. Are they in a malaise? Is there something bigger wrong, or just getting some rest? And after that 16-game win streak, that was the longest across the NBA this season, just catching their breath. Their 4 straight losses, it was last Sunday in a close one against the Magic. Then a blowout that turns into a blowout late by the Clippers to begin this road trip that the Cavs are on. 4-point loss at the Kings, an 11-point loss at the Suns, in which KD had 42. So if you want to get right, well, maybe you should play the Jazz, and they would. In spite of shooting 11 of 48 from 3, the Cavaliers, they hold the Jazz to under 100, win the game 120-91. 6 players in double digits, led by Jarrett Allen, hook 'em horns, 18-6-4 for Allen. Cavs stop the skid. Boston, Portland, Celtics still not within striking distance in spite of the slide, and the Celtics having won their last 4 consecutive. Tonight, they would make it 5. Early, it was back and forth for the Blazers. This is my first Z's and Threes call for next season. The Blazers will be a bona fide, not play-in, but a bona fide playoff team. Boston pulls away in the third, a 129-116 final score, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists for the increasing distributor, Jason Tatum. New Orleans Pelicans, Detroit Pistons. Pistons coming off a bad loss Friday night to the Dallas Mavericks. Looking to bounce back against the Pelicans, this was a Pelicans team that these two began their week against one another Monday night in the Big Easy. Detroit won by 46 points. Cade Cunningham balled out in that one. He's been on a tear down the stretch, but he was held out of this game Sunday. No Zion for the Pelicans as well. It was tougher work tonight for the Pistons, but the same ultimate result. 12 lead changes, 12 ties. 136-130 Pistons dub. They overcame a 40-point night from C.J. McCollum, a team-high 26 from, yeah, you guessed it, Ron Holland II. 22 points, 12 rebounds from Jalen Duren, 20 points from Marcus Sasser. Philadelphia 76ers, Atlanta Hawks. Hawks hosting in a handle-your-business game. Seemingly, their only path to the playoffs will be out of the play-in. They will not catch the Pistons, the Hawks. And that would mean facing either Cleveland or Boston, because 7 or 8 will play 1 or 2. And remember, these are the two teams that the Hawks have fared well against. 2-1 against Cleveland, including back-to-back wins, and 2-1 against Boston. They had no problem, did the Hawks, against Philly tonight. 28 points, 12 assists for Trae Young. He gets my vote. Third team All-NBA. I got you, Trae. 22 for Zach. I was the number 1 pick and have played well, yet still no one knows who I am. Riza Shea. Sixers, what a season it's been. Guess Philly fans can watch Super Bowl highlights for solace. Charlotte, Miami. This one, the final in the playoff implication games. The Heat clinging to the 10 seed in the East in spite of a 10-game losing streak. For the love of basketball, please abolish conferences and get rid of the play-in. Heat go down by 12 against the NBA's closest thing to a high school AAU team in the Hornets, but they put it in gear from the second quarter on. 42 points for Andrew. Remember, he plays for Miami, throw into the Jimmy Butler trade. Wiggins, 16 of 21 shooting, superbly ethical. 7 free throw attempts for 21 shots, 42 points. Nice night. 29 points from Tyler Hero. The Heat are a whopping 11 games under 500. Final game of the night, Lottery Land, San Antonio Spurs, Toronto Raptors up north of the border. Spurs dominate, led by 38. They win 123-89, 25 points from Devin Vassell. Let's update the standings, the Western Conference musical chairs. 2 through 8, currently separated by 5 losses. 2, the Houston Rockets. A game behind them, the Denver Nuggets. A game behind the Nuggets, the LA Lakers. So that is your 2, 3, 4. Remember, this is important for starting at home in the playoffs. Behind the Lakers, the Memphis Grizzlies, who at one point were up in the 2 for a long period. They are a half game behind the Lakers. 4 trying to go into 3, hence the musical chairs. From 5 to 6 is Memphis to Golden State. There are 2 games separating there. 6 through 8 gets a little tighter. Golden State in the 6, they are a half game ahead of Minnesota, who is now a half game ahead of the LA Clippers. Down in the 9, the Kings, they are a game and a half ahead of the Suns and the Mavs, both at 34 and 37. The Suns on a 3-game win streak. Could they sneak in to the playoffs? Anthony Davis playing golf, but he apparently is coming back for this Mavs coming up road trip. Blazers, I know I made a prediction for the Blazers come next season, but they are not completely out of it. 2.5 games out of the final play-in spot. East 4 race, the Pacers have a game over the Bucks. 2 games over the Pistons, as the Pacers are currently on a 4-game win streak. And let's talk the play-in group in the East. All 4 teams are under 500. Atlanta, like clockwork, in the Quinn Snyder era down in ATL. They are 35 and 36. I guarantee, not in the Charles Barkley sense, but I guarantee Atlanta, they will finish. It will be the most poetic thing if they finish the season 41 and 41. Oddly enough, however, every potential playoff team in the East, so seeds 1 through 10, currently having won 1 game or more. Heavy Pour, leading score of the night, presented by Portland Water. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. The Heavy Pour was from Andrew Wiggins with his 42. Dunk of the night. If you would like to sponsor Dunk of the Night, get at me. happy to talk with you about such. Dunk of the night, Shaedon Sharpe, the young dude in Portland, part of that core that makes them exciting to watch. If you haven't checked out any Portland basketball, they are worth your time. I would have put, and I did, I think, put Chauncey Billups on the hot seat as the coach most likely to lose his job after Mike Brown was dismissed by the Kings, but Chauncey is here to stay because the Blazers are balling. Sharpe had a nasty putback off a Scoot Henderson miss. Performance of the night here is a left fielder and a throwback. Down in his hometown, DeAndre Jordan. Yes, he is still in the league. Do you remember who he plays for? The Denver Nuggets. And he is still capable. 11 points and 15 rebounds, 4 assists in the start for the Nuggets without Jokic. Nuggets get killed consistently on the glass. Well chronicled their struggles without Nikola Jokic. DJ steps in and steps up against Houston. News updates. When we last spoke, Friday's show, updating Thursday's game, it was Steph Curry's tailbone crunching. That was the biggest takeaway. The Warriors are embarking on a 5-game road swing that starts with a Jimmy Butler reunion in Miami on Tuesday. Do you think that Miami does a tribute video? I find it interesting. I thought about this when I was writing the show. I was like, is it too soon? Do they do a tribute video? I saw Jimmy Butler talking about his time in Miami and said, well, they didn't accomplish their goal and it was fun and some memories. But what does Miami do? Do they roll out the red carpet? Curry will be joining the team with potential to play Tuesday, given how treatment goes. So Curry potentially back for the Warriors as they fight for their playoff spot. The Nuggets, they are staying at home for their next 5 games. That begins Monday against the Bulls. So a back-to-back. Head coach Michael Malone is expecting Nikola Jokic to return, quote, at some point during such, but not Monday night against the Bulls. Bad news for fantasy players that have Nikola Jokic. He has a left ankle impingement. That has been the reason for his sidelining over the last 4 games, and his elbow has been bothering him as well, but expected to be back over this 5-game homestand. Anthony Davis targeting a return for his 2nd game with the Mavs as well. Remember, man, did Anthony Davis shoot out of a cannon for his time with the Mavs? Well, he has been ardent and adamant about returning. Dallas hitting the road for 4. He is listed as doubtful for Monday night's contest at Brooklyn. Knicks bellwether and point guard Jalen Brunson, well, he will need at least another week to return. He has missed 8 straight games since March 6th, that badly twisted ankle in the game against the Lakers. And the Grizzlies losing Brandon Clark for the remainder of the season. A PCL sprain is the reason. 18 games started, 64 games played for Clark, who averages 8.3 points per. House shoes. Today, I'm rocking some Air Max 95. European only. I don't even know what. I bought these off Sneakers and Stuff, I believe. Holler at me, Sneakers and Stuff. Maybe sponsored Dunk of the Night. House shoes, we're going to go both sides of the spectrum tonight. If you spend enough time online, whether it be on your computer or on your phone or on social, maybe you are familiar with the account Legends with a Z, Legends NBA. But they leak audio from the floor in the game and usually transcribe it if you're not a lip reader or if it's too loud. If you have ever had the privilege, whether it be for pleasure, work, whatever it may be, to sit courtside or close enough to courtside to hear the players communicating with one another across the course of the game, there is some very interesting and enjoyable things to hear. Gives you some insight to the competitive nature of a basketball game at any level. But I was watching Karis LeVert go back and forth with Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond Green, with Trae Young jumping in. You can find the clip if you want. It's out there on social media. But it got me thinking, and I've talked about this with a bunch of friends that are NBA followers as well. We see so much buddy-buddy in the league nowadays. Players dapping one another up after the games, the mid-court meetup, the cover like this, so the cameras can't read the lips, trading jerseys. Everybody's friend. But hearing these clips like LeVert and Kuminga, the other ones that I've seen over the course of the years, I don't know how long Legends has been doing this, but give me more on court and maybe some off court dislike as well. I want some fire, flagrance, fury, not fighting, but hey, if you got to throw some hands, why not? We all know the league's reputation. Sophomore year of college, I was watching live the Malice at the Palace. I was on my flip phone with my boy, and we were watching it. It was crazy. No sport like basketball affords the fan the opportunity to be as close and sometimes part of the action like the NBA. And the Malice at the Palace brought us that. And as fans, they need to stay out of it. Cheer, boo, yell at the refs, do all you'd like. But the onus is on you to know the line because those are human beings and they're right there. There was no invisible barrier, even though you might think that there are one. But as for the players, Draymond Green talks about this a lot, and he was part of this interaction and has been part of many interactions in which he has crossed the line. When the players are between the lines, let that competitive fire burn. For a league that has been lacking in competitive juice, at times, it is enjoyable to see and hear. So go out there and check it out. We're going to go to the other side of the spectrum, something that I saw really cool. Maybe you did over the course of the weekend, but the Minnesota Timberwolves were in Orlando playing the Magic. Joe Ingles used to play for the Magic, and his wife, Renee, they have 3 kids. They stay in their family home that is in Orlando in the season throughout all. They were in town where the Wolves, as mentioned, I'm reading off because I want to make sure I get it right. Son Jacob is autistic, and earlier in the week, he had a milestone where he watched an entire NBA game in an arena for the first time. So with Dad coming into town with the Wolves, Wolves head coach Chris Finch made it a point to start Joe Ingles so his son and other kids and wife could see him play. Pretty damn cool from Chris Finch. What to watch Monday night, another 8-game slate. Aforementioned Minnesota Timberwolves in Indianapolis to take on the Pacers. Both teams looking to gear up for a repeat of those conference final playoff runs they had last year. Lakers, they start the G Squad and lose to the Bucks last week, then welcome LeBron back and lose to the Bulls. Lakers begin a 4-game road trip at Orlando. Chicago, Denver, Milwaukee, Phoenix, and Boston, Sacramento all could be good. All of those teams fighting for playoff status. If you haven't watched the Signature Sneaker Showdown episode 2, check it out. Jordan 39s, Jokic 1s. I'm working on episode 3 of the matchups. If you miss anything, as always, we got you here at Z's and 3s. All we ask is that you like, subscribe, share with a friend. We will see you back here tomorrow. Peace. And yo, if you were watching all show wondering what my shirt says, there you go.